Welcome to my very first challenge run on Paper Mario 64 where I cannot use any jump attacks. Mario injured himself and his doctor ordered him to not jump for a while, so he's stuck using his hammer to defend himself. As for the rules, I cannot initiate any jump attacks in battle. The story begins with Mario Bros being invited by Peach for a grand party. Unfortunately, Perry Carey must have stolen Luigi's birthday check, in which they were about to use to fix the plumbing in their house. And just like that, we get into our first mandatory battle of the game. Obviously, this fight does not violate our no jumping rule, as we are forced to select the jump option, and Mario hasn't been injured yet. This is also a very sluggish battle, but the outcome is surprising as Mario is forced to lose. After Bowser completely demolishes Mario, he gets banished to the village of Goombas. Mario is then revived and meets the best partner in the game, Koopa. We then search the bushes for our main weapon of choice, and not by choice, our first hammer. This will prove to be crucial to our challenge. We then encounter Junior Troopa out of the numerous battles later on, and we defeat him with ease by using a trusty wooden hammer.
Wonderful.
We then meet our first partner in the game, Goombario. We then encounter Blue Raspberry and Watermelon Jolly Rancher Goombas, who strangely enough have the same attack power as regular Goombas, but have slightly more HP. Either way, they were no threat at all for our two heroes. After destroying them, we encounter the first boss of Prologue, the Goomba King. Normally in this fight, you're actually supposed to hit the Goomba tree, but I accidentally hit His Royal Highness. Thankfully, this wasn't detrimental to us in any form. We disobey the king and unravel his little fortress, and we progress into Toadtown. But first, we must acquire the Hammer Throw badge. I cannot stress enough how important this badge will be throughout the rest of the challenge run. After acquiring action commands, we encounter Kamek or Magic Koopa and give him a good old smack to his magical noggin. Afterwards, Merlin reveals the identities of the Koopa Bros disguised as Toads. I admit, the color scheme looks really cool and wish Nintendo created dark colored Toad NPCs. And just like that, we are officially heading to Chapter 1, where the real challenge begins. We take a pleasant stroll on Pleasant Path while gracefully looping around this conspicuously placed creepy striped pole thing with eyes, who watches our every move while spawning hearts. Then we head down south to Koopa Village, who is experiencing a fuzzy infestation. Don't laugh, Mario, that's rude. Fortunately, these fuzzies are no match for hammer whacking prowess. After saving his blue shell, which we could have pawned off for a quick buck, he quickly agreed to aid us on our way despite trying to sell a shell. During this fuzzy-licious battle, all we had to do was use one spicy flower, After a long and arduous journey across the Pleasant Path, we have arrived at the fortified Koopa Bros fortress. I wonder who sleeps where and who helps with the chores and whatnot. After engaging with the first battle against the Bob-Ombs, Mario was willing to sacrifice his partner Goombario, who admired him his entire life. After diving deeper into the fortress, we encountered the Power Bounce badge, who was locked behind bars. What sort of crimes has this pink shoe committed to be considered so dangerous? Afterwards, we get some hot rope jump action, which by the way, is one of the best minigames ever. Then we reluctantly fall for the very obviously placed traps in order to progress, but we let the yellow Koopa Bro have the satisfaction because we're nice people. Thankfully, we encounter Bombette, who is one of my most used partner during this run, and I'm very grateful to have her on my team. After ascending the tower for the 100th time, we have acquired the Smash Charge badge. Next we gracefully dodge every incoming bullet bill, scorching the battlefield, and even getting a free bomb hit on the bill blasters. We seamlessly took one out already, and used Bombette to effortlessly defeat one as well. We enter the Koopa Bros domain and encounter Pseudo Bowser. Excellent craft work by the way guys. I would love to have a little figurine of this version of Bowser. We whack him senselessly, and he uses his Buzz Lightyear karate chopping action, which we block like a pro. After his costume got demolished, the bros reveal themselves and show off their so-called special attack, which was kinda difficult to dodge admittedly. After knocking him down Jenga style, we used one fire flower stored inside and a power block and Koopa's power shell, and the battle was finished as quickly as it started. And just like that, Chapter 1 is successfully completed without jumping a single time. The Star Spirit's action command is unlocked, and we are ready to tackle on Chapter 2. Before we go on, we encounter Junior Troopa who slid into the water in an embarrassing fashion. He has been training as well and obtained the ability to be born and unborn as he pleases. The battle was a breeze, and I didn't need to show the entire thing because it went by so quickly. We did buy the Speedy Spin badge, which is a necessity in every playthrough in my opinion. After exploring the murky waters of the Toad Town sewers, we run into a rogue blooper who wished to engage in combat. This is where the Hammer Throw badge comes in handy, as I now have an option of attacking him now. We're able to deal big damage, and all our hard work paid off for a very useless badge. Oh well, let's stuff our sorrows on the tracks as we ride to the parched and scorching desert that is Dry Desert. Move to the music on Thomas the Tank Engine and check around the bushes for strange bouncing eggs. We then encounter Perry Carey, who was just looking for an excuse to not do any work, so he has us find his letters for him while he loiters around. Basically me when I try to look busy around my boss at work. We take one quick little bump for Wacka to take along the road. After doing his job for him, he joins us so we can do more of his work for him. Kinda selfish for someone with wings to make someone wingless to do the legwork. Afterwards, we encounter Bazaar and tell him we're a pretty princess which failed miserably and engage in combat. The battle went swimmingly. I charged my wooden hammer as Perry Carey spammed his shell shot move. After taking out Burp Rain, we trekked through the very dry desert in search of the outpost while dodging sentient cactuses and bandits moving at Mach speed. After obtaining the Ruin Stone, we made a very boring trip to the Little Pedestal Rock, which revealed the ancient ruins of the sands. I am really digging this nighttime aesthetic of the deserts. After entering the ruins, we are greeted by a not so friendly welcome. Of course, being the rebels we are, we ignored the warnings and marched right in. Afterwards, we found the Super Hammer room and entered a sneaky little room containing a very useless badge that disables our running speed. This is alluding to the next chapter of the game. But we do find a not so useless hammer upgrade, which is greatly needed. After navigating around the ruins, which did not need to be in the video, we finally encountered Toot and Koopa and his metallic pet, Chompy. During this fight, my emulator crashed so many times during this fight and had to keep reloading the game and was forced to watch this stupid intro over and over. As for the battle, I had to rely heavily on my smash charge and hammer throw badge to deal some serious damage while trying my best to block Chompy's swift tackle. Goombario came in clutch with his charge move as well. The close call badge has saved me numerous times throughout the run and is very useful at times. I didn't want to risk a game over, so I used a quick refresh to stay on the safe side. The battle continues on and Goombario pulls through with a whopping 12 damage in one go, leading to the downfall of the Koopa Pharaoh. And just like that, Mammara the second Star Spirit has been rescued, and more importantly, I have not initiated a single jump in the entirety of the chapter. Okay, so I didn't realize until after, but my recorded footage of chapter 3 accidentally got deleted, and it was too late by the time I edited all the videos together, so let's just skip to chapter 4. Mario and friends return to Toad Town, but is running amok with mischievous Shy Guy stealing things from the innocent residents. Despite all that is going on, Mario decides to have a nap because he doesn't care at the moment. Danny delays helping the Toads by running around a tree in the hot outpost while nearby desert Toads stare at him as if he has 3 heads. Mario finally returns to Toad Town to fix the Shy Guy epidemic and decides to hide inside the abandoned house, but to his surprise, a pink Shy Guy reveals the hidden passageway leading to the Shy Guy's secret hideout. We enter the childish land of toys and blocks and relive our childhood. And suddenly Kammy Koopa appears and summons a dancing Winnie the Pooh claiming because this is what Mario hates the most. Then Mario purchases a bomb not knowing it's actually a bomb and tosses it into the box, destroying all the living residents trapped in there. Kammy arrived again and summoned Big Yoshi. Then we encounter the biggest chat of them all, Gourmet Guy. We shove cake down his throat, which may or may not be coated with cocaine, and he farts out a cookbook, which we touch without disinfecting it. Gross, Mario. We dive deeper into the toy box until we arrive in an eerie, darkened room which holds a single entity holding a dimly lit lantern. This battle was a bit long as I was forced to use hammer attacks on the lamp, which doesn't increase the brightness, which leads into blowing out the light out. He then blinds us with his shining rays of light, injuring Goombaru for a bit. We finally recruit Watt, who in my opinion is one of the best partners in the game. We finally reach the last train station and destroy the little block fort, which led to the group of cowardly Shy Guys fleeing for their lives. We meet General Guy, who in my opinion is the most fun boss to fight in the game. In true commanding fashion, General Guy commands his troops to fight us one at a time, but they were no match for our skills. One Shy Guy was a sole survivor and has fled the scene to avoid dying. Next we fight the Stilt Guys, who are no trouble at all. After a couple of hammer throws and Watt's dash attack, they stilted the last Stilt. Next up, the Shy Guys stack up in formations of 4 in an impressive fashion. Although they were well coordinated, they were still no match for our hammer attacks and electricity. General Guy has lost his patience and decided to step into the battlefield and take us on himself, like the shy man he is. Thankfully, Watt pierces through all enemy defense, and we're able to attack him while sacrificing our attack power and FP. There were so many close calls due to the lightning attack being so swift. I spam refresh to avoid a game over, and continued charging and attacking. Eventually his tank gave out from the excessive amounts of electricity and hammer attacks. Muscular, the 4-star spirit, has been rescued and the chapter has been completed without me jumping once again. We make our way into the giant tuna's stomach to exterminate the pesky pest hopping around. After taking a hammer to the face, it explodes, then the wheel ejects it into space where we float for all eternity and no one can hear us scream. We arrive safely on the lovely Lava Island, which is home to the native Jungle Fuzzies and Spirit Guys. Before saving Professor Colorado, we pick up a letter and then we save him. We rescue him a second time by getting a free bomb hit, and the rest is history. We partnered with Sushi to form a search party. The first thing we found was the upgraded version of the Quake Hammer, which we immediately equipped. After navigating the jungle, we find Baby Yoshi number 1, hidden behind a bush. The second one was surrounded by ferocious putrid piranhas, which have an unusually high amount of HP, which kinda took a while to defeat. After rescuing the second Yoshi, we enter the shadowy cave where Yoshi number 3 is trapped. After saving the babies, we meet Raphael, who guides us to the volcano entrance by demanding his little minions to build a solid and sturdy zipline. We finally enter the blazing tower of lava, and Colorado foolishly dives headfirst into the sinking rock without hopping. What a rookie mistake. We dive deeper into the volcano until we find a giant chest containing the Ultra Hammer, which is the final upgrade and will be extremely useful for the rest of the game. Afterwards, we narrowly escape death from the giant spiked rolling ball of doom. Once again, Colorado doesn't think before he acts, and brutally gets crushed by the giant spark ball of doom. We head down south to fight Lava Piranha during its first phase. I started off with Starstorm to get a clean 7 damage off the bat. I continued to spam Squirt and Power Quake to damage all of them. This continues on until the first phase is defeated. I use Chill Out to lower the attack power, which is crucial, and since they're on fire, our ice and water attacks are much more efficient in taking them out. This ironically made their more powerful phase easier for us to defeat. I use another snowman doll, and Bao smacked it senseless and down to go. And with the plant pruned, we completed chapter 5 without me jumping a single time. After presenting the golden vase to Colorado, we make our way back to Toad Town, and encounter Junior Troopa, who is tenacious enough to challenge us all the way over. Our battle is shorter than usual due to his health being cut in half, making it a breeze. The door to Flower Fields has been summoned, and we make our way to the beautiful world of Flora Delight. We go around helping the flowery citizens by playing whack-a-mole. I seriously hate these things. Trying to hammer them in the overworld took me way too long because I used the keyboard to play. Next we made a Kirby lookalike who was in desperate need for water. After heading left, we encountered the first Lakidoozle Spinies in the game. You guys were no problems at all. We navigate through the grassy hedge maze. We grant the gift of water to Lily, and she is driving. We did meet Lackluster or Spike and are locked in combat. The fight didn't take too long since we both charged up our attacks repeatedly and unleashed the beast. Lackluster joins us and we make our way to the Cloud Machine in order to destroy and rescue flower fields. I gave the machine a good smack and the clouds had cleared and everyone was happy. I also pissed off the wise tree for not planting the beam properly. We ascend to the heavens where we encounter Huff and Puff, who was a major pain to deal with. The key is to take out as many of the little clouds as possible so he can avoid healing himself. There's not much to say about the battle aside from the fact that there were many close calls where it almost died. With only one sliver of health left, I made a huge risk and went all in without healing myself, and whacked him good, and he was defeated. And just like that, the 6-star spirit has been rescued and Flower Fields is once again beautiful. We make our way to Shiver City to speak to cuddly penguins and visit the mayor's house who is presumed dead. Then we make our way to Starborn Valley, but now without finding Junior Troopa once again. This time he has learned the way of magic. I spam my hammer charge move, and Bombast's head bomb attack. I took another risk and didn't use my healing item, in exchange for getting more damage in. I'm super glad it paid off, because I was about to die very soon. Next we smack a tree where the leaves fly into space after hitting it for some reason. Next we encounter the seemingly powerful Monstar, who was really just a group of star children grouping together to intimidate outsiders. Fortunately, they were all just bark and no bite.